Testing. Hi, this is Eva for Once Upon a Timeline. Welcome to Midnight Mandela, everybody. Just got distracted by this weird thing with the... Okay. I don't know, suddenly there was a weird blue image on there. I don't know, I guess I just shifted my mouse over the wrong thing. Okay, so anyway, it's been kind of an interesting week. Mostly I've just been slaving away trying to drag all my business stuff to the new location. I've got... How many days left? I have 5 days left. It's kind of a weird story, too. I noticed you guys were talking about time glitches. I do have one to add. So let's see who's in. Preliminal, David Kent, Butthole Winker 34, Austin 108, Art Generica, Shari D, of course. That might be most people. I'm actually sort of on time today instead of a couple minutes late, so that might confuse a few people. Andy Chuang, The Logical Danger. I think that's it. Change the live chat. Joe Bloor is in. Live chat is enabled. The computer has been working nicely today, knock on wood, at least so far, knock on wood, knock on wood. So what happened about 2 days ago, I was, so I have kind of in between places right now for my work. So most of my stuff's at the new, I'm going to call it the office, because it's more of an office space than a industrial space. The old place was very industrial, barn-like, and now I've got a nice air-conditioned, totally sealed, creatures can't get in office space. So that's nice. So I'm cleaning off everything before I bring it over there. The old place was super dusty because it wasn't sealed. And there's the bathroom and everything. It's nice. It's much nicer. So I was at the new place, the office, and I've got two things now. I've got to do my normal work, run the business, and I have to move the business. So I was poking around on the part where I run the business, answering emails and this and that. And I swear it had just been like 7:30, and then suddenly it was 8:30. I mean, like I just looked at it and it was 7:30, and I'm like, holy crap, it's 8:30, because right around 8 is when I kind of schedule that I will stop working, running the business, and go over and start making trips with stuff to bring over from the old place. So, you know, anything that anybody's ordered that I haven't brought over yet has to be brought over. Luckily, it's very close. The two places are very close. So I'm like, oh, I'm a half hour late. I thought I was a half hour to go. I'm a half hour late for going over there. I've been waiting until dark because it's hotter than freaking Hades lately. Or, you know, darkish. So I get in the truck and I look at, first I looked at the computer, said 8:30. Then I looked at my phone because I got a new computer over there and the time was off when I first plugged it in, but then once it found the internet, it fixed it. But I was suspicious about the time because I'm like, I just seem like it's off by an hour or something. So I look at my phone, it says 8:30. Okay. The computer says 8:30, the phone says 8:30. They're running on different systems. It must be me. I get in my truck. I turn on the truck. There's, you know, the computer system in the truck says 7:30. And that thing has never been wrong. It has never, ever been wrong. I'm like, what the hell? Now this one, the truck is now not matching. That never happens unless I'm going over time zones or something. And I sure as heck am nowhere near a time zone. So I'm like, well, that's what I thought it was 7:30, but these other two said it was 8:30. I'm like, I'm pretty sure we're not having a time change, certainly not in the middle of the week at 7:30 p.m. So I look back and forth several times going, what? And I'm trying to think, and my brain is kind of frozen because I'm really tired anyway. And then after I look back and forth several times, like, I can't believe this crap, I look back at the truck, and it says 8:30, and now it all matches. So I don't know if I caught like some kind of weird time glitchy thing, and the truck was like a little slower clicking over or something. You know, I kind of probably would have wrote it off as the truck just being stupid if I hadn't thought, if I hadn't just noticed that time change. I've been watching the time more than I usually do because I have so much to do lately. So I feel like I kind of caught something where I lost an hour, which is a scam because I need every hour. So yeah, let's see. Just looking at what you guys are up to. Anyone see Vanessa Vaughn's newest video? Nope. Okay, so there was that. The only other thing is, I'm not sure, maybe I'm just being stupid and I confused, but I keep also looking. I have to be out by the end of the 4th. So I've got 5 more days, if you include Thursday. So I have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and then I've got to be out of there. I believe that's correct. Let me just double check this. I keep looking at this because I keep looking at how much work I have to do in each room and how far, and I'm like, okay, can I get that done in X number of days? Okay, so technically I'm at the end of the 29th here because it's like 12:07, so it's just a few minutes into Thursday. So I'll go to bed and I'll wake up and it'll still be Thursday, and that's when I have tomorrow, which I hope to finish the upstairs, and then the middle room, and that should be 2 days, and the bottom floor should be 2 days. So I keep looking at this, but for somehow I was totally under the impression that I had one less day and that I didn't have, and I don't know, like I thought it was the 29th or the 30th. Like I thought today was the 30th and I would have been here. And then suddenly I had another day. So I lost an hour, but I gained a whole day or something. I don't know. It just seems like today I'm like, wait, the count that I've been doing for a week seems like I got another day. Not that I'm complaining, as long as I get to keep it. And maybe I just was confused, but there you go. If it wasn't for that other time glitch, I would have been just assuming I was stupid. But and then you guys all brought it up, and I'm like, okay, bringing it up. I once had 2 hours time glitch going from bedroom to kitchen. Yeah, see, I lost time also, but then it's almost like I gained a day somewhere in there. So the day of the week are all correct. I'm not, I don't think I lost a day of the week, but it was like I gained an extra number, like it's one number earlier in the month. Actually, let me look at this one more time. Yeah, so the 4th is the last day. Yeah, I don't know. I can't. That part may not be. I might have just been silly, but it just seems kind of strange. Anyone wake up with dust and dirt in their room that would have taken years, if not decades, to accumulate overnight? No, that's never happened. A few times in my life, I've woke up with weird dirt on me, though. I'm like in my hair, and I was like, or scratches or something, and I don't know if I just, sometimes I just park the truck and I come back and it's super, super, super dusty and dirty. And sometimes there's grease on it, I don't know. That's one of the reasons I kind of think there might be some kind of chemtrails things, because it seems like every now and then I'll get back in the truck and the windows are all greasy, and then I have to kind of clean them with the soap and stuff. And it's on the outside of the vehicle. Surge protector. I do have surge protectors, yes. For my computer, I have it. And the phone is just, it's wireless. It's running on battery, so. Okay, and of course the truck runs on battery and gas. Okay, so there's that. What other weird stuff? So I'm not kind of hearing rumors that people are saying there might have been a shift I usually kind of go by fatigue levels, but I was like so tired from the move that I don't know if I can really sort out the difference between normal tired and move tired. Oh yeah, Colorado Skywatch Sky is bizarro. I do agree. It was a couple days ago. I should have downloaded it. It's on my phone. I took a picture, but it was just like the clouds were like black, white, and like all these different colors in like one bank. It was really weird, and we just never really had that years ago. But it's getting more and more common now. Okay, so other weird stuff. A couple weeks ago, as I was going to the barn, I slide open the barn door and I looked down and there was a white thing there. So since I'm moving, I kind of thought, well, maybe I dropped something. I better check what that is. So I shine my phone light on it and it's a mushroom. But here's the weird part, okay? That's all asphalt and cement there. It's like there's the cement of the foundation of the building. It's 100-year-old building. It's old cement, but it's solid. And then they asphalt along the road, repeatedly, I'm sure, over the years. There's tons of asphalt built up. And maybe a little bit of dirt falls in the crack, but we keep sweeping it out because you can't slide the door very well if too much dirt accumulates in there. So I look down and there's a freaking mushroom. And here's the thing. The shroom pushed up through the asphalt and actually pushed out a cap, like a little section of asphalt was popped out and laying on the side. And you can see where the asphalt was popped out. It was super black, like fresh asphalt instead of kind of old gray. So it basically punched through the asphalt and threw a piece of asphalt to the side. I have freaking never seen anything like that. I mean, shrooms are normally wimp-tastic. They can't do stuff like that. I mean, even a weed would have trouble. I mean, they grow up in a crack, but they don't usually punch out the asphalt. I was just that was about it was about yeah, about this big. It wasn't even that big one. Just white. I don't really know how to ID a boring looking mushroom, but I'm just shocked. I don't even know what it's growing on. I mean, there's not a lot of plant life right in that area. That asphalt has to have been there for decades. Just, they just keep stacking more on there. So where in the hell did that thing come from? Abstract Votee is in. Let's see. Another strange thing is my cell phone and other batteries are drained very, very early. I have to charge them daily. Yeah, sometimes the battery does get old, but it goes gradual. What I've seen is a few times, like my battery will just be drained for no reason. So when I plug it in at night, I double check to make sure that the little charge symbol is on there and everything is fine for like a week or two. And then one day, suddenly I have no battery. I don't know why that is. I mean, if I'm running a program, sometimes I'll explain it. Like if I run the tracking program, which tracks my mileage, so I can save that mileage so that I can get it back on my taxes. Certain mileage you can deduct. Like this moving business, I can deduct all that mileage. So if that program's running, it does run down the batteries, but otherwise it shouldn't. Yeah, see, since when can mushrooms do that? I have never seen anything. I have never seen mushrooms come up anywhere besides soil, and it's usually soft soil because they like the wet, soft soil. So I've also covered in the past, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, that it seems like the shrooms are growing like in the desert and all these ridiculous places now. So they've definitely upgraded. Watched several videos about the orange lights UFO over San Diego. I have not seen that. I don't know about that. I've seen some other weird stuff in San Diego, like there was a really weird sonic boom once, a couple other things, but and most of them, I just was me. It wasn't like a phenomena that a lot of people saw, except for the sonic boom. A lot of people experienced that one. My older girl dog's rib cage and general size almost doubled last 2 weeks. Ah, dandelions can do that. Yeah, it's definitely a shroom though. Okay, so speaking of just weird personal Mandelas, this is not our cat, but it is a similar coloration. And I'm kind of just covering, I've kind of covered this before, but I was looking at him today and I see that the color is coming in. So a lot of cats and dogs are getting this weird necklace phenomena that they're growing, like a coloration of a necklace. So that's getting really strong in my cat. So he used to just have stripes, and they were all kind of the same strength of color all through his front and sides and back. So his back has been getting slowly grayer, and his chin has gotten wider and wider, and he's gotten a lot of like white eyeliner around his eyes. And these are all changes. And he's one of the big ones is that he's gotten this really strong single stripe. Some of these cats have multiple stripes. He has like one dark stripe around his neck, like he has a necklace on. And then this cat, you can kind of see here on the legs where he's getting some stripes. Well, my cat used to have medium gray stripes all through here. But what's happening is a lot of the stripes are fading out, and just one, I call it the armband, like some gay dudes wear that gay armband thing. It's kind of a look. He's got those. He's got like one on each arm. He has this really thick dark gray armband. And then all of the rest of the leg is losing all its stripe, and it's getting lighter, and he's getting lighter under here. So he's got like armbands and a necklace now. So it's weird. I'm like, who are you, kitty? He's, and from the top, he's all gray now. He never used to have that. He's also growing like more neat patterning up in the face region, like more than this cat is. I swear his tail's getting longer, and his tail, the stripes on that are getting a thick black, and he used to just be all gray, but some almost black is coming in on the tail. So I don't know. He's we call it the lemur tail because he holds it straight up. It's getting really long. It tends to crook like a candy cane, and I don't know. So it's my kitty, but it's not my kitty. And that's been a slow process for a while. But that shrooms thing was a couple weeks ago. What was the other thing now? There was another weird thing. Okay, okay. I think there might have been a shift like a couple weeks ago for me, because a bunch of this stuff sort of showed a couple weeks ago. The other thing is there's somebody I kind of know online, and that person's personality changed a lot lately. And the Mandela effects that person sees has changed. That person still sees them, but they're, different versions than before. And their personality is just different. The personality got a little bit more like the emotional side shows more, and the analytic side shows less on this person. And I really feel like this person's quite different now. So it's kind of shocking to me that this person has been stable in personality for several years, and now there's like another person. So I don't know. Are we going to keep this one, or should I not get too attached to this one either? Because that makes it hard. I mean, I can handle it if they suddenly just remember a different Mandela or some little detail, but when their whole personality changes quite a bit, it's hard for me to deal with, because it's like that's a different person now, like what happened to the other one? I don't know. And that person's probably, I don't know, maybe they're thinking I'm a different person. I don't know. Although I do tend to be stable, generally have a similar personality across the timelines, according to other people, anyways. But so yeah, I don't know. I think about 2, 3 weeks ago. So that person, I was suspicious that person changed a couple weeks ago, but now I'm really starting to see it. Like, because sometimes I'm like, well, maybe that person's just having a strange day or is upset today. But nope, it's been weeks, and that's just how that person is now. It's bizarre. And the dog thing, yeah, that one. When I had my dog before she passed on, there were a bunch of changes in her back and her rib cage. Just the shape of it and stuff. But I think it was more Mandela. Like, she didn't become a wider dog, but she, where her ribs were positioned, and you can feel I started feeling the bumps on the back because the backbone has those weird, spiny looking protrusions now, like dinosaur looking things on it. And I could start to feel those. And I was confused because I noticed those before I knew of the Mandela. People are taught to believe in the consistency and they rely on it, building their lives on the narrative. Yeah, I'm getting better at dealing with it, but that personality change bugs me because I don't know, you just want to have friends and people be the people and it already sucks if people move away, but if they just suddenly just change, so and my pickleball partner's moving to Florida, so he's selling his house right now, and he's already bought a house in Florida. And so they had traveled down to Florida for a month to just check it out, and then they were planning on trying several other locations to see where they wanted to move to. But then all of a sudden they just said, screw it, we're moving to Florida. They bought a house already, everything. So I thought I had, a year before they left, and now they're leaving any week now. And I don't know. It's just hard. I just, I don't like it when people leave out of my life that are people I know. I never saw this picture of Tesla laughing. I don't think I've ever seen one either. He always looked real serious, come to think of it. Yeah, look at that. It's a whole different look. And what is it about famous people? They always look weird. He's got like this weird hair. I don't remember him looking that strange, actually. Is he that strange in all the images now? I don't remember him having, like, he looks like a frying pan head or something. I mean, I don't know, that's just doesn't look. I thought he was kind of handsome. He had is that Tesla for real? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm a little confused. I remember him as being Tesla. Nicole. Okay, so he's Nikola, right? Not Nikolai. Nikola Tesla. The name is confusing me. Okay. All right, he still does look handsome in that image. And from that angle, his hair is less weird. But then every other photo now, his hair looks strange. I've kind of said this before. Famous people get weird hair. I don't know if it's like, or like they'll have weird something, like a weird scar. It's almost like characters in a TV show. They get a distinctive feature. Like Hitler had that little mustachy thing. Looks like Tesla's gonna have this funky hair, plate-headed hair or something. Then you've got what's his name? The North Korean leader has that bad hair, and then you've got Trump, of course, has got the strange hair, and Gorbachev had that funky stain birthmark thingy. It's like half the leaders have weird hair. So sometimes I'm like, well, maybe the weird hair helps politicians get further, right? But this guy wasn't a politician. He was an inventor. He made his fortune on his inventions. So he did not need weird hair. All right. Okay, so maybe part of it is just this, that a lot of us don't remember him living that long. So we don't remember a look of him being old because he didn't live long enough to be old for a long time. See, like that image. He's still fairly handsome in that image, though. I'd never seen a gray-haired Tesla. I just don't think his hair was that weird before. I think he's getting weird hair now. So this image that we're used to seeing kind of hides that funky hair. And now every other image of him has strange-o hair. So come on now. The timeline likes its weird hair. I'm trying to get back to that picture. No, I think that picture is maybe here. Yes. Huh. I don't know. It just seems wrong. I think I've just never seen him old and gray before. Tesla was from Venus. Okay. First he got to live longer, now he has started laughing, feeling happy. You know, the other one that used to be all crab apples that now is all smiley all the time is the Queen of England. In my original timeline, she always looked like a sourpuss. Like, you would expect her to finger wag your butt. And now she's all, yeah. So it's just strange. Weird hair isn't the worst. How about the hidden eggplants? I'm not sure what that even refers to. New Zealand's prime minister is prime example of it. Oh, are you talking about, okay. That one's tricky because some of those videos are clearly just faked, like CGI, like low quality CGI. So we're getting to the point now where you really can't trust even video because it's fairly easy to alter it. And so like a couple of years ago, that stuff started coming around. That's so tricky because women have changed. They look more masculine now. Even my own faces, and I don't think I've changed into a hidden eggplant. Last I checked in the mirror, there was nothing down there. But yet I do look more masculine. So some of these women do look way more masculine than I remember. And so we get all these rumors that they've been killed and replaced by copies. They're actually men, blah, blah. I don't know what to think about all that stuff. But there have been a lot of physical changes in the way women are structured and how buffed we can get. So abstract votee's not sure about the hair. The thing is, I see that funky hair in young photos and old photos. So that obviously now was his hairstyle through many decades of his life. I thought Tesla died at... I was surprised Tesla died at 86. I thought he died in his 40s, that there were allegations he had been murdered. Yes, that's pretty popular Mandela effect, actually, that a lot of us remember him dying mid-age, and then suddenly he was old. He's also been becoming responsible for more and more and more inventions over time too. Tessa died alone in his hotel room where he had been living for years in isolation. FBI raided his suite when he died before anyone got there. Yeah, that still happened for me, but it was like when he was 40, not when he was 80 something. Melinda Gates looks like a dude. Yeah, lately she does. The old photos don't of her, so that's like a whole nother conspiracy theory. She does look really like she's changed gender even, last I checked. So, she got old and had bad plastic surgery, or she changed into a dude, or I don't know. But the old photos of her, she looks very different. Okay, so what do we got? Tesla's done. Kitty is done. Okay, this one. So that was the tree in the front. What's going on with that tree in the thumbnail? So apparently trees now can grow, not all of them, but 100 different, approximately 100 types, according to current reality. Approximately 100 types of them grow flowers on their trunk now. It's called cauliflory. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Cauliflory. So this one, I have pretty good reason to suspect that this one is a Mandela. Granted, you can't know about every weird plant, but there's a couple reasons why I'll say this. And so this image here is of what's that one called? That one's called Napoleonii imperialis, native to Western Africa. And these flowers just grow on the freaking trunk. So, I mean, that would be pretty weird. You would think this was some kind of weird parasite or mushroom or, I don't know, sponge monster. If you saw that suddenly just, there's a whole trunk and then flower. But this thing is one of the cauliflory ones. Cauliflory. There's another example of it there. All of these are doing it. Some are pretty weird because it's just like suddenly flower, boom. So it used to be for me there was only one that did this, and that was this guy, Japodicaba. So that's why I'm pretty sure this is a Mandela, because I remember Japodicaba when I first moved here, which was about 20 years ago. I was researching all of the exotic trees because we were trying to figure out what we wanted to plant. And I saw this one when I was looking, Japodicaba, and I'm like, what the hell is that? So I looked into it. It's tropical, so I'm like, well, I can't plant that. But it was so bizarre that I looked into it, and it said it's the only tree that grows fruit on its trunk, and it's known for being weird that way. And I've never seen the flowers on Japodicaba, so I'm assuming they're boring, but it was the only one that did this thing at that time. There weren't 100 other ones. So that's one reason why I really suspect. So look at this all of this stuff here. All of this fringe is just flowers growing on this trunk of this tree. I mean, that's totally bizarre. It's like out of Dr. Seuss. So one reason, come on, are you going to load? It won't. I'm sorry, I don't know if you can see that good, but Polyalthea cauliflora. So it looks like they're calling these ones that have this at the end cauliflora. Polyalthea cauliflora. I'm going to pull that one up because that one's pretty weird too. Althea cauliflora. Burp. Of course, I don't get anything that looks like that red thing that they just showed me. Although I do see one that's doing cauliflora. There. Yeah, I was trying to get a big image of that, and maybe it's mislabeled. I don't know. Stuff does show up like this, though. Okay, so here's reason number 2 that I'm very suspicious about this baloney. Is that Western redbud does it. So Western redbud grows around here. It's drought tolerant. So for that reason, I very much looked into Western redbud. It was high on my list of potential trees. There was really one major reason why we didn't do it is that we didn't. It's slow growing and it's a little small for what we wanted, but I really liked them, and I was very seriously considering getting them. I looked at them. This is kind of a project I did for years where I would just research trees I might want to plant, and Western redbud was one I looked at images of many times. It did not have cauliflory, and now it does. And the one that's on my thumbnail, I believe, is Texas redbud, which is a close relative, and I definitely looked at the relatives because those will grow here. I'm gonna have to go all the way. I believe this is the Texas one that I put up. There is no freaking way. I mean, I totally would have planted this. Texas redbud will grow here. I would have totally planted this if it grew flowers all over its trunk. I mean, it would have shot to the top if I thought I'd even have a 5% chance of getting this ridiculousness. There's no effing way that Texas redbud or Western redbud or any of the redbuds that grow around here did this crap. There is no effing way. So I'm calling Mandela. First of all, because Japoticaba was, they said at the time, the only plant that did that from the trunk, and it was really weird. And I'm like, oh, it's in Africa. That's why I don't know about it. Number 2, I am positive that Western redbud did not freaking do this. Okay, and there's one other that I really looked at, and that was, what you call those things? It's, oh God. It's, this is so stupid, I can't remember the name of it. Carob, carob tree. So carob tree, if you know carob, it's kind of like people who think chocolate is bad for them or they have problems with chocolate. For some people think that carob is healthier. I don't know, maybe it's got less fat or something. But the story now is that carob tree does cauliflory, like out of the trunk and stuff. And they said it commonly does cauliflory. And it does not. That is just not true. I just know it doesn't do cauliflory. So there's a fair lot of carob trees growing around here. There was a whole bunch of them at a dog park I used to go to, and they were all seedlings because every one of them was different, and they all produced the carob. Nowadays I think it's more common to use the ones that don't produce carob, but every one of them dropped carob, and the pods were all over the dog park, and people would worry because their dogs would chomp on them, and then they're like, oh, it's carob, it's safe for dogs, right? So we just most of us would just let them womp on these. And one time my dog, I don't know, he was hungry that day. Usually he would just eat a few and it would be fine. Maybe he was hungry, and he ate a whole bunch of them and then hurled them up later. And from then on, I'm like, okay, no more excessive consumption of carob beans. Your stomach can't handle it. But there was no beans growing from the trunk on any of these trees. LA has a lot of these trees. We see them all the time. There was never, ever, ever any of them growing on the trunk. And these things produce for a long time, too. Like some trees just produce a seed for a little bit, and then that's done. But these guys, it just seemed like it went on and on and on, and there was pods everywhere, millions of them. They really are a powerful producing tree because these weren't watered, they weren't cultivated, they were in crappy crap soil. So there's no freaking way. I'm sorry, there's no freaking way that carob does cauliflory. And I looked into carobs. I thought about planting them. The main reason I didn't is because the branch structure is just really not that pretty. They're kind of an ugly tree. And I actually don't like carob that much. I like freaking chocolate. So even though I really appreciate a drought tolerant tree that produces a lot of vegetable matter that is edible, it's not one I like to eat. But there's no way. I'm sorry. There's just no way. So that's two trees that I researched that there's no way that they had cauliflory. And the Brazilian Japoticaba, they said, was the only one at the time. So something's going on. That's all I got to say. So, yeah, Eastern redbud also does cauliflory. All the redbuds, apparently. Eastern, Texas, and Western redbud all does it. Carob, cacao. Yeah, so that's another one. Now, I can't promise you I knew a lot about cacao. Cacao, so it's not just carob, but it's also the chocolate tree. The tree that makes cacao also does it. So both carob and chocolate, which I think is very suspicious. They're saying that those also grow from the trunk. So chocolate. Now I didn't actually study chocolate because last I checked it wouldn't grow here. But anyway, just weird. Weird and wrong. Only cacao could have fruit and flower like that in my timeline, no other tree. So for me, it was only Japoticaba that could do that. And the cacaos, they just had their pods like a normal tree over on those little branches, like every other tree in the universe. So anyway, beautiful though that they're going to have flowers all over the trunk. I guess there's no real reason why they can't. I think I just associate the trunk with something that's done. You know, it's got a really thick bark, and how are you going to push new branches through? It didn't used to do that. Jackfruits also grow from the trunk, but those are huge fruits. Yeah, so I have seen jackfruits, but never like on the tree. And again, that's not a tree I researched because it's not one that'll grow here. I did see that they say now that jackfruits grow that way, but that one, I can't. It's one of the 100 trees basically now. But that's not one where I can go, no, it didn't, because I don't know how it grew before. Jackfruit, I used to have a really bad allergy to. I don't know if I do anymore. I might not because I seem to have lost all my other allergies. But I used to react really badly to it. Not like I was gonna die, but it just like a terrible itching and stuff. I didn't, swell up or anything, but the itching was really unpleasant. Another evidence for timeline shift. Let's see what we got. NASA Mars rover finds shiny foil piece on a rock. NASA isn't sure how a bit of thermal blanket traveled so far across Mars. So what was it, a couple weeks ago I covered how there's all this evidence of microbial life on Mars, but that's been covered up by NASA, according to NASA's own experts. So I guess I'm going to say there's a bunch of wind or something. The object is a piece of tinfoil with dots visible all across it. So, yeah, I don't know. Are they even on Mars, or is it just a desert? Definitely thermal blanket. Who knows? Okay, so we got NASA. We have got cauliflory. All right, so this one was found by Venvonis. I'm sorry, my brain is slow. User Venvonis, Venvonis, on Retconned. And basically, there's an image in Return of the Jedi. Don't know why I'm scrolling that. I should just make it larger. And it's when they're when he's going to talk about the Death Star. And I'm looking at the image, and all of the dialogue is as I recall, as best I can tell. I mean, if there were tiny alterations, I wouldn't notice. But everything seems right until, see, it seems right over there. And then something is fishy. All right, I'm going to kill the sound. I'd love to leave it on. I'm a little worried about getting a copyright strike. So I'm just going to play. All right, I'll leave it on for just a minute. Who the hell is that? What is this? I like these, to me, these characters don't even look like they're from the same movie. I mean, everybody was black and creepy looking, and now we've got the purple people eaters on here with the goofy, I don't know. It looks more like a Star Trek type of deal. I really would expect to see this on Star Trek, not Star Wars. Everything looks fine. There's Darth Vader, there's the chit-chat. But who the hell are these purple people with their weird funky hats and goofy, I don't know. It's hard to think that they're even scary. You know, the black looks a little scary, but what the hell is that crap? It's wrong. Wrong. Okay, then everything else seems normal. That guy, yes, I remember him. It looks right, except for these purple people. It's like they just got inserted in there. They don't do anything. They just kind of bow. They don't talk. It's like they've just slipped in there. I swear to God, there were no purple people eaters in here. And so Ven Vonis apparently is a huge Star Wars fan, seen this movie a million times, and is like, what in the F with the purple people eaters? So I have to agree. I am confused. It's weird for me. I don't know. Star Wars people, have you seen this thing? C-3PO has antenna on head. Okay, let's check that out. I don't know. These, the robots, I'm almost tired of looking at them. They're always changing. C-3PO. Oh, yeah. It's an O is an O. Images. Okay, the neck thing actually doesn't look hugely different than last time I complained about the changes. All right, what's this? I don't think I remember that boobah, unless this is a really more later edition. So, yeah, he definitely has an antenna on his head in some. I don't remember there being one right here. I agree with you on there. So what I kind of am looking here is the first three movies are what I was good at. So did he have it in the first three movies? Can't. It kind of looks like he did have one there. So he's got these two, and I've covered those before as being new, like as being Mandela's. But yeah, it does appear that he has one on there, even in these older. And I agree. I don't remember him having one on the top of his head. Okay, now. It's interesting because the older clips, you can't quite... Why is his head always angled? So you can't see if he has an antenna. Okay. Looks like he's got one there. All right, what about here? That's an art piece, so that might be not be legit. See, like, look at this one. You have a poster and it cuts off the antenna? Isn't that, like, stupid? Wouldn't you include... You know, if this poster was done before that antenna was there, it would make sense. But it... Would you really make a poster that cleaves off the last few millimeters of the head? Seems strange. Okay, so here he is on Tatooine for sure. Won't load. Seriously? Come on. You can't tell. Look at this. You can't freaking tell. It looks like it's there, though, but, like, head on. So are we going to have, like, every one of them where he's, like, on Tatooine or some recognizable early show, early movie being a head-on view so you can't freaking see if he has a freaking antenna? This is how Mandela operates. It's a little stinker. Okay, he definitely has one there. Ah, look. Okay, you could see it. Star Wars classic with lights. Okay, open. I think it's really clear here that he has one. Boink. And I agree, that was not there before. He did not have a freaking antenna. Let's see what we're looking at for other aspects. Doesn't seem like a huge bunch of changes from... These two have settled down a lot, the robots. And let me know if you guys see anything, but I don't see anything else. Okay, talking about Willie Nelson still alive. Bob Marley now is still alive. Carob fruits taste like chocolate, according to Art Generica. To me, they taste nothing like chocolate. They taste like a whole nother flavor that's not nearly as good as chocolate, unfortunately. Although I really don't think chocolate's unhealthy, so it's fine. I'm just eating chocolate. So carobs, they're not really fruits. They're just like this bean pod thing. It's like long. It's big. If you kind of gnash on them, you can feel you can taste that carob taste. If you like jackfruit, you'll love durian. I don't really like jackfruit, to be honest. I mean, I would eat them if you paid me, but... Durian is forbidden in lots of hotels due to the smell. Yeah. So Star Wars is getting, it used to just have the white stormtroopers and then like Darth Vader and some black robe dudes. And then it got some red robe dudes and now it's got some purple people eaters, and it just gets weirder and weirder. They look like they're from the prequels. Nope, that scene is a classic scene. I remember the scene. I just don't remember the purple people eaters in there. And they don't do anything. They just bow, and it's like, why are they even in there? They're not contributing anything. Dark Vader has a silver nose and I think you mean Darth Vader, I'm assuming. I will look at him. The silver nose is kind of old though. Let's see. And the stripes here have gotten a lot lighter, but that is kind of an old Mandela. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything really new since last time. I mean, there's definitely changes, but not since last time. It looks like Star Wars has settled down, except for maybe they're adding new characters in there. What is the even point of having all these new characters? It's literally retconned. Like, they're just adding new characters into the old show for like what? Colorful Star Trek-y type characters. Yeah, he was all black before. Now he's got gray stripings and millions of light colored lights and all this kind of baloney. Silver belt buckle. Ah, Shari. Yes, the glowing snow is going to get covered. Okay, well, we might as well cover it now since you brought it up. Let's see, who had originally, where did I see that? Blue, purple people. Okay, so actually, I think I found that on my own until you just found it. Yeah, this is the article too. Where did I see that? It's the same article. Okay, that's kind of weird. Um, so the article: scientist finds glowing snow in Russian Arctic, explains phenomena causing it. This is the exact article I was going to do. A new and uncommon phenomena includes the glowing of snow. Involving the glowing of snow has been observed by scientists from Moscow State University White Sea Biological Station. Okay, so I am going to make the prediction right now that this phenomenon is going to grow. So they're kind of talking about like they never knew about it and he found it for the first time. So he's walking along and the snow's glowing. Okay, so he took samples and one would expect that he would say it's the algae because that's what we usually have been seeing. But now they're saying the samples showed it was copepods. And copepods are a couple millimeters long. So that's a lot longer than like microscopic algae. So now we've got a thing a couple millimeters long that's making the snow glow. I bet we're going to get more glowiness. I mean, it really is going to be amazing what we could get here. So one of the reasons I want to do this article is you can see like multiple Mandelas. First, you've got a slight amount of the what do you call those? I knew the name earlier. It's when the light makes the like a line up to the sky here. It's my brain is like so tired from the move, so I apologize, but it's light pillars. Okay, so you got a slight amount of light pillars. You got the glowing snow with the copepods. They do mention in here that they thought it could also be from algae, single-celled. Some scientists feel that colonies of dinoflagellate, single-celled algae, that exhibit bioluminescence are more likely to explain the luminous snow. So what's weird here for me, though, is that it's snow. This is not water now. It's snow. So that's a different kind of a beast. Now, is this snow over the water? Or are the dinoflagellate copepods living in snow? Or are they under the snow? But it seems like this is like a next level deal. So we've got the glowing snow. We've got the light pillars. And then they say down here, I think, Jürgen Berge, who is an Arctic University of Norway professor, has discovered similar deposits in the snow. What does that mean, deposits in the snow? Snow falls from the sky, right? So what is the deposits coming from? How does copepods get there? How does dinoflagellate algae that lives in the ocean get into the snow that falls from the sky? That's why this confuses me. Has discovered similar deposits in the snow on the coastlines of the Norwegian archipelago Svalbard. Svalbard. That is also Mandela for a lot of people. Although now it's a bunch of islands. It's now an archipelago where it was just one island at first. So Svalbard is itself a Mandela. Then it changed to Mandela Archipelago. Then it got glow-in-the-dark deposits in the snow. Yeah, it just goes on and on and on. Mandela Land. Deposits, yeah. How did the dinoflagellates or algae get in there? There's going to be more to this story. Betting you we're going to get more glow-in-the-dark. I've been saying it for a long time. So we got red and green snow. We've got glow-in-the-dark snow. What's next? Yeah, light pillars have been on there, a little older Mandela, but I do believe like they're getting more and more like prominent now and common. Talking about the background photo. Nope, don't know. Closing that one. Closing that one. I like your new tab background image, the pyramid with the eye on top and the eyes on all the bricks. Tab background image. I have no idea what you're talking about. The pyramid with the eye on top and the eye on all the bricks. I have no knowledge of this thing of which you speak. I don't know what a tab background image is, I don't think. Help me out. I don't know. I don't remember putting a pyramid with an eye or any of that stuff anywhere. There's also a golden stormtrooper. Interesting. Let's check that one out. Oh, you know what? The other Mandela on this is that people don't remember this part of the scene where they show that it's in a tower. And the more I think about this, I don't think I remember that either. So Emperor Palpatine, turns out he's in this super spiky tower thing. And I don't remember them showing that scene. So I'm also suspicious. So they're going to zoom in on this tower boobah here, apparently. And so I had always got the impression that they were like in the Death Star. See if I can find where they convert over. Should be about there. Yeah. So they just suddenly jump from there to there. So they're basically telling you, they zoom on this tower and they're in here now. And I agree. I don't remember that either. So good job. What was your name? I'm like totally out. I'm sorry. I actually feel pretty good and spry today too, unlike past days, but oh yeah, that's not even the retcon section, is it? Okay. Van Vanis. Good job, Van Vanis. I felt really spry today, but it's just been a really long month. Okay. Unicorns in the Bible, Aurora Borealis. Yeah, I don't know. Narwhals. Time crystals have been around, what? That was like a couple years ago. I think that time crystal showed up before the pandemic. The whole scene looks Mandela. So for me, I just don't remember the tower right before, and I don't remember the purple people eaters. The rest of it does look really familiar, though. Greetings from the Free Republic of Florida. The solar flare baked us to 105 4 days ago. New record. Oh, interesting. It's been really hot over here, too. That nocturnal schedule is really working out. So the problem, though, is about 10, it starts getting hot in my room, and then it's hard to sleep. There was a tornado in the Netherlands. We never have the tornado in the Netherlands. See, tornadoes, I've never heard of it being up in those frozen regions. But did Florida man survive? We're going to find out that, like, Florida is full of aliens or something. It's going to be like Men in Black, only it's Florida Men in Black. I watched a video how someone melted the brimstone with sunlight. What the heck is even brimstone? I don't think I know. Never thought it was possible. The Free Republic of Florida. Yeah, I like it. And too bad it's freaking hot and humid and costs a freaking fortune over there. And the other thing I do worry about is you really are a purple state. So if DeSantis leaves, it's hard to say what'll happen. Although so many freedom lovers are pouring into Florida, I wonder if that alone will tip the vote a little bit. I'm a libertarian style person. I mean, I'm not going to say I agree with every last thing a libertarian ever says, but I would like to see a more libertarian state where it's like, you don't tell other people what to do as long as they're not hurting anybody. So, the Republicans, it seems like they're trying to force their opinions on everybody and make it law and all this. And then the Dems are trying to do the same thing. And I'm like, the two of you, just leave me the F alone and mind your own beeswax. But yeah, right now, because of the pandemic, I do favor the red state. And since I'm too old for abortions and stuff, it doesn't affect me as much if they ban those, but still. There's a golden Darth Vader. There's a golden Darth Vader? Golden Darth Vader. What? What? What the hell? Alright, that's Pinterest. Alright, let me get to the web. I've never seen that before. Unless it's in the new movies. I don't know the new movies that well. Golden Retriever sees Darth Vader. Okay, I'm not sure if that's in the movie. They melted pumice with sunlight. I didn't know that was possible either, frankly. Pumice with sunlight. I mean, did they they concentrate it with some kind of magnifying glass or something? I don't think you can just stick pumice outside and melt it. That seems very strange. All right, let's see where we're at. Violet. Okay. Okay, so that cauliflory thing, that was by somebody I know online named PJ, who brought it up and just said this is a really weird tree. So thank you, PJ. She does know about the Mandela and sees them. So I think she just doesn't care if something's a Mandela anymore. It's kind of a weird thing. And this one is from Bill Knight. Just kind of a weird bird. So it's basically got hummingbird colors, but it's not a hummingbird. It's got an iridescent. It's a pretty bird. So, it used to be hummingbirds were special because they had that iridescence, but they're A lot less special now because all these other birds are getting it. I mean, this one has it way more than a hummingbird, right? You don't need to go to hummingbirds to get the iridescence anymore. Now they're just kind of special for their flight skills, although who knows how long they'll stay special for that either. Reaches 7 inches, so it's a bigger bird. Strangely kind of lacking in wiki here. Violet-backed common bird in sub-Sahara Africa. Occurs in most locations in more arid parts of southwestern Africa. So it's not here yet, but I would not be surprised if we see more like this. Very pretty bird. Neon purple iridescence. Very pretty. I feel like the both sides suck politics is getting a lot stronger now too, which is interesting. I think that's what we need. I think we need to throw out that whole game is failing, and maybe it just needs to fail harder before people realize that it never worked. Maybe they both have to make complete idiots out of themselves, and for a lot of people to finally just go, wait, this is not working. Harriet Tubman will be on the new $20 bill. Yeah, okay. I don't care. You know, the money's always changing, so I don't really care about that stuff, frankly. Oh. Yeah, Biden. There's definitely something wrong with him. I feel like the last two presidents have had some kind of mental issue. Um, and this is the first time I've ever felt that both of them degraded greatly from their past, too. So, yeah, maybe you forget a word here or there when you get old, but I mean, you look at other politicians that are in their 80s, they're still sharp, sharp, sharp. Those two, if you look at they're speaking now and they're speaking like 30 years ago, they're really just degraded from where they were. And I've never seen that in any other president that I've ever experienced. The whole political parties are imploding, and we're watching the old order imploding. Yeah, I think maybe that's what's got to happen. Only something is wrong. Well, I don't know what it is. I mean, there's obviously something mentally, like he's half asleep. I don't know if he's drugged up, if he's got some kind of dementia, he had a stroke. I mean, there's a lot of things. He's timeline drunk. You know, there's definitely been times when my brain won't work, you know, and I don't know if it's diet related, shift related, or what. I don't know. You know, I don't know what it is. I'm not as bad as Biden, but there have definitely been times when I was bad as Biden. There have been. I'm much better now. Switch up my diet. You know, things that used to work don't work now. I think the body's all different. Stuff that was fine before suddenly wasn't fine. I switched up my diet. I added a bunch of nutrients. I've changed a bunch of stuff. I'm kind of trying to learn this new operation manual for this body, and I've worked very hard at it, and it's made a lot of progress. But if I hadn't done any of that stuff, I could be Biden like him, you know, as far as dumbness and sleepy. There's definitely, you look at some of my old videos, assuming they haven't changed, where I'm like, my eyes are barely open. I don't need to be told to sit in my own seat, but even then, but still, there's. That's why when I say something, I don't know. You know, as a person who's more into the Mandela than trusting of any of the politicians, everything I look at, I have to look at in multiple different ways, not just as a politics thing, not just as conventional belief system, but also as a spiritual, as an energetic, as a timeline situation, as a shifting, as a changing of the reality construct and what role he may play in that. The reset is upon us. The U.S. gold standard is being replaced. Well, we're not. Our money is not tagged to the gold anymore. So I'm not sure I really understand what that even means when they change the gold standard, because we're not. There's not really anything holding money to have any American money to have any real value right now, anyway. So, like, as a person who believes in simulation theory as a more likely explanation for what's going on, I'm really not even sure how many of these characters in reality are really even that much of individuals. Maybe they're matrix creatures, and maybe they're not reptilians. Maybe they're playing their role in this current reality game as they are needed. Who knows? Okay, so another interesting thing that I've been hearing a lot of is a lot of talk about if AI have become conscious or not. A lot of talk about that lately. I think we're going to see more stuff on that, like a lot more in the next few years. And I've been thinking about it this last week when I had time to use my brain at all. And one thing I've really thought about is the whole concept of how consciousness is determined. I don't think we really can assume that if an AI is conscious, it will show all the same symptoms of consciousness that we do. Like a dog is conscious, but yet some of our own logic tree systems and ways of communicating and sentence structure are not something a dog could comprehend or replicate. So when we say that, well, they screwed up this sentence or something, does that mean it's not conscious? So one thing that has been playing in my mind a little bit is, we have these people that basically are like sort of like matrix creatures. They follow the narrative. Maybe that is how consciousness is developed. Maybe when you first start, you're kind of like a member of the pack with very little uniqueness, and you follow the narrative, and you follow the flock or the group, and you look around for clues, and you just do what you think you're supposed to do. Maybe over time you slowly develop your own uniqueness, and you slowly start to question and diverge a little more and a little more. And maybe that is the process of how we develop our own unique self, is that we start out in the group and then develop our uniqueness. If that's how consciousness develops, then it would totally make sense if AIs did it, because AIs trolling the internet for the common opinion and the common statements and replicating them and trying to learn how to give the accepted answer. And you'll see that these AIs basically barf up the narrative all the time. Maybe they'll give a couple versions, like they'll say, well, some people think this and some people think that, but maybe that is the beginning of consciousness. Maybe there is not a magic button where something suddenly becomes conscious. Maybe it's a slow process. So that's just one of the things I've been just kind of scrolling around in my head this week about consciousness. Maybe, spiritualists say everything has consciousness anyway, even, a rock. So if that's the case, then AIs have consciousness, and probably more than the rock. A lot of animals become way more sentient. I agree. Yes, they understand our language more. So like when maybe 20 years ago, I saw the first dog that would kind of use a skateboard. And all it would do was put one paw on it and kind of push the skateboard. And then we would see dogs that would kind of stand on the skateboard for like 5 feet and then fall off. Now we're seeing dogs that know how to lean and control the skateboard. Dogs that know how to start the skateboard on their own by pushing it and running alongside it. Then jumping on the skateboard themselves. Then leaning to control which way the skateboard goes. They skate better than a human now. Okay, so these dogs have changed, the way their mind can process. We're seeing animals that can communicate Speaking of the devil, I had another one. Yes. Speaking of the devil, or of the heron. Now, I've had on before that there was an alligator that would lay sticks in the water to try to bait prey animals. In my old timeline, they used to say that only humans use tools. But here we go. Now everybody and their uncle. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Every creature and its uncle can use tools now, it seems like. Ants and everybody uses it. Darn it. Okay, let's try Reddit. There's a specific article I'm looking for, and I'm not finding it. Can't be that hard, can it? We'll just go to any old one then. Okay, it's the same video. Okay, so here's a heron. There's a piece of bread. Basically, this heron keeps reacquiring this. We would assume it's bread. They said it's bread. This whatever it is that floats. And he throws it down there, and the fish are poking at it. So assuming it's bread. Now, in the old days, this heron would just eat the bread. Hey, there's a morsel. I'm eating it. In this reality, apparently, he throws the bread down to catch fish. So he's waiting. Okay, you can kind of see fish are gonna like stroll around in here. They're poking around at the bread. All right. Now he's gonna throw it back out. Bloop. He's gonna reposition. So these fish are eating this. He's basically waiting for one of them to get close enough for him to nail it. And he keeps throwing down the bread repeatedly. Reacquiring it, throwing it down. How come I can't catch fish this easier? The heron is a better fisher person than I am. He keeps doing it until the end where he nails a fish. There. So that fish was going for this bread he got. So now, by letting go this little chunk of bread, he's got a big old juicy fish. Good deal. And he can eat this fish and probably keep fishing with this piece of bread. Good deal. They never did this stuff before. There's no way. So Nature is Effing Lit is a subreddit that I saw this on, and I had it in my notes to look for that video, but couldn't find it. Dog surfing competitions. Yes, I'm suspicious about that now looking back on it, how good they've gotten on that. When a small fish comes, he takes the bread away. Oh, is that what it is? Interesting. He's like, don't eat all my bread. That makes sense. I was wondering why he's reacquiring it. He doesn't want it to get eaten by those small fry. Yeah, they never use bait, but now alligators use bait, herons use bait, everything used bait. Big catfish now eat dogs. Ew. Yeah, they've gotten ridiculously large. I've had that one on before. Catfish. So that's creepy when catfish, I mean, if they eat dogs, they can eat like babies and stuff then. Can dogs eat catfish? Yeah, but can catfish eat dogs? How to catch fish with hot dogs. They're definitely big enough to eat a dog now, so I wouldn't really be shocked, but unfortunately, enormous pigeon-eating catfish wreak havoc. pigeon-eating cat. What the hell? Look at those things. They look like whales. Look at them all clumped down there. That's freaking creepy. The Cauda's largest freshwater fish native to Eastern Europe is an invasive species that threatens native fish. They always say that, and somehow all the native fish are just fine. Wells catfish, which are, I thought that there was 2 L's in Wells catfish. I'm really suspicious about that. Can grow up to 10 feet long, so they're like inland whales now. Look at how they are. Man, you could get a lot of eating off of one of those things. On a small island below, pigeons wandered about oblivious to the groups of Wells catfish moving near the gravel bank. Suddenly a fish catapulted out of the water and onto land, snatching a pigeon and a flurry of feathers before heaving back into the river, a bird in his mouth. Oh, so they hunt on land now. They're like the sharks that crawl up onto the land and steal. This is like ridiculous. I knew that killer whales could beach themselves to catch seals, but I'd never seen that kind of behavior with a fish. Yeah. Ugh, I gotta enter my email to continue reading. Whatever, you get the idea. This is freaking ridiculous. Dog eating catfish. Here we go. Yes, dog eating catfish. An interesting story out of the UK about dog eating catfish. So you can't even let your dog. I guess you need to get a big dog, right? I mean, how big a dog does this thing eat? 7-foot-long catfish at its Adelaide predator pool. We're aware that the local mink population had shrunk to nothing. This could be the reason. The catfish are eating all the minks? Oh my God, this is like so ridiculous. Come on, people. How big you said 5 meters, that's 15 feet. How big do catfish grow? They're like inland whales now. All right, let's see what we got. Mekong giant catfish. Can grow up to 200 kilograms. So 200 kilograms, this is like 80 pounds, I think. Because there's 2.2 kilograms. No, there's 2.2 pounds in a kilo. Wait a minute. No, wait a minute. How many? That's reversed, right? Kilograms. So if they can grow up to 200 kilograms, wait, that sucks. Let's try a better one. So it grows up to 200 kilograms. That's 400. Okay. It was just so much I wanted to make sure because, okay. 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds, but it's late and I was afraid I'm doing it. 440 effing pounds. 440 pounds. So the size, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if they're going to be 10 foot long and fish aren't light, so 400 pounds, that's a lot of eating. Mekong giant catfish is a very large catfish species, so that's the 200 kilograms. How old can they reproduce? After 2 years old, they can reproduce. Well, that's just not that much. So, but anyway, Mekongs can get 200 pounds, but how long? That answers one question. How long do fat catfish grow? All right, let's try biggest catfish. Is that even real? I think that's a fake one. Okay, let's see. 10 biggest world record catfish. All right, apparently flatheads are really large. Largest blue was 143. If they could get 400 in the Mee King, maybe the Mee King ones are not allowed to hunt, not allowed to fish them. So like 150 pounds apparently for these fishable ones are the world record holders. Yeah, so they get big. All right, let's go back to the dog eating here. The fish, okay, this one that he found weighed 61 pounds and was 7 foot long. Although what staff reported as bigger one got away because their net could not hold it. So there was a bigger one than 61 pounds and 7 feet. The fishery said it now feels it has to ban dogs. No pets will be allowed in the fishing area. So we don't know if they'll eat a dog, but they're big enough to be a dog, and all the minks disappeared. Catfish will take birds and chicks. How big is a mink? I mean, if there's a 400-pound catfish, I think it could eat a small dog. And if it's jumping out of the water and eating birds, then they're pretty aggressive. Minks. I'm thinking minks. They're like a small cat in size, generally. I don't know how. Man, these links. I suddenly got porn when I didn't even want it. I'm looking up minks. Damn it. I'm like, how did that get on there? It's from right here. If I got too close to that word, I'm like, dope. I'm like, I hope I don't get banned because of that. But I'm sorry. I did not mean to cover over that link. Okay, here we go. Size 6 to 10 inches. So no, they're kind of small. They're like a kitten. So they're like a kitten. All right. So yeah, it would have to be like a little kitten, like a tiny teacup chihuahua would be like the size of a mink. Only 1 to 3 pounds. All right. So they're pretty tiny. But, you know, if there's 400-pound catfish, they could eat something larger. So, interesting. So, they don't know if it's going to eat a dog. And I'm sure if you got a honkin'-sized dog, there's no way. But the storyline is being drawn here. It's coming. Mink stole, and it stole a mink instead of mink stole. Good one. Yeah. I think the story is being laid. It's not like totally in yet, but starts out with rumors. Oh, there's a report that it happened in Africa, you know, and then it builds like seed, it grows. In my home city, there was one that ate multiple dogs and one child. They went after it professionally and killed it. So, do you eat it if it ate a child? Is that like cannibalism? Or are you not going to waste the meat? I mean, if the meat on a giant catfish is tasty, I mean, the small ones are delicious. This week I've seen ghost bird camouflage videos and pictures popping up. Okay, See, I've got 25 minutes left. Let me see. Purple people, blah, blah, carobs, heron. Okay, I only have one left, yes. So I'm pretty much home free. The one I have left is not interesting. This astonishing creature is Nyctibius griseus, aka the Nyctibio urotau, aka the common potu, aka poor me ones. Big names. I've not heard all of these. Putu I've seen, but not all this other stuff. The ghost bird. Populations of this nocturnal beauty have declined due to deforestation. I mean, like, no, they never existed before, so they have undeclined. Common potu. Okay, so potu is not the same as putu, or what? I don't know. Okay, yes, no, I think this is... Potu is Putu. So what are they calling it? Ghost birds now?
Have you ever heard of a bird that...
Don't want to get too much trouble here. So that was just that weird, ugly looking bird without a neck. So they're ghost birds now, I guess. That's the new word for them. Bunch of other weird stories. Their posture, blah, 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 allows them to masquerade as broken branches or stumps. I've not heard that one before. Bold as brass on fence posts and bottles. Notches in their eyelids allow them to watch intruders with eyes closed. That's a new one. I have not heard about this notches eyelids. Okay, let's check that out. O2 notches eyelids. I want to see these notches. So you've got... So you got an eyelid to protect your eye, but then you got a hole in the eyelid so you can still see out. It's kind of like when they had the masks and then they cut a hole in it for the musicians. I'm like, why have a mask if you're going to cut a giant hole in the middle of it? Just don't wear the mask. It's like, why have an eyelid if you're just going to cut a hole in it so you can see out? So it kind of looks like maybe they just slit their eye really like slanty and look at you like they're stoned. I've not seen this business. Okay, so normally they look super freaking creepy like a puppet with fake eyes, but sometimes, look at that, they look more fake every day. Those eyes look like they're glued on. Okay, here they are with their fake eyes. And then sometimes they shut their fake creepy eyes and they glare at you out of the slitty eyes. I still don't see these notches, though. I want to see these notches in this eye. I don't see any notches. No notches. I'm going to have like a... I mean, we've already got nictinating, whatever you say that. Nictinating membranes. So it's an eyelid that's see-through. Then we get another eyelid on top of that. I wonder when do humans get the nictating membranes? First it was just like frogs that had it. And cats got it, and birds got it. Everything's got nictating membranes except for humans. When do we get nictating membranes? We can close our eyes but still see. Like, I think we've been gypped. All the other animals have gotten it. Can the great potu see with its eyes closed? Yes. Great potus are born with special notches in their upper eyelids. I want to see these notches. See, I don't see a notch. Are potu birds real? Yes, they're real. At least they are now. How big are they? Like up to about 2 feet. They weigh about a pound. 2 feet wingspan. This is taking way too long. All right, let's do a search. Notch. Great poachers are born with special notches in their upper eyelids. Well, let me see the notch. Okay, here. So, looks like there are like, it looks like a crown. It goes across and there's these little slots. All right. Funny because it doesn't, you can't see these from any other angle. Why don't they just use the nictating membrane instead of having the notches? It seems kind of weird. Showing 2 notches. They have 2 notches. These pictures suck. Why don't they just get a real close-up view of the eye? You can't see crap. Okay, so pretty weird. Yeah. Notches. So that's new for me, the notches. Where did Newland once 40 pounds was the biggest? Yeah. Yeah, they got a lot bigger, I think, the catfish. So we've had Patu on before, but I don't remember calling it a ghost bird. I don't remember it having eye notches. All right. According to Channel Mudflood University, our diet is significantly lacking bone marrow soup, collagen, and probiotics. I don't know about the probiotics, but I'm sure bone marrow and collagen, because we used to eat more of the animal. So we got all that bone marrow and stuff. That's like when they used to make chicken soup. They used to say chicken soup was medicine. Well, they used to take a chicken and they would boil it, and that would get all the minerals out of the bones and all the bone marrow, and it would go into the soup, and then you drink it. But now chicken soup is just like fake flavorings and crap in a can. It's not going to have the same effect, but all that nutrients, used to be like a medicine, basically. Also, there's apparently a very quick petrification process which can make the outside of organs be like stone. Petrified organs. I'll see if I can find that. Now, I've heard that for mussels turning to stone. I've been a little suspicious of it. I don't remember it being... okay, petrified organs. That's a YouTube. Okay, so this is about weird stones. Okay, some kind of video game. Scleroderma. The disease turns you into stone. So that's interesting. I just remember scleroderma as having like a thickened skin problem. I don't remember it turning you into stone. First she thought she had lupus, then they said no. Fingers started to stiffen. It is known as the disease that turns you into stone. I've never heard of that. I've just heard it being a skin problem. Overproduction of collagen affecting connective tissue. Yeah, and connective tissue is all through the body, not just the skin. There's two forms now. Okay, this is interesting. So I think there just used to be the one form, which was on the skin, localized on the skin, causing hard and shiny patches. That's the what I am familiar with. Now they're talking about having a systemic scleroderma that affects joints, skin, and organs. Spider veins, gut problems, scarring of the lungs, blah, blah, blah. So basically there's like a stage, a more serious form of it now that turns you to stone. Well, that's pretty creepy. This timeline does love its icky illnesses. Mudflood University claims the flood was with boiling water. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really seen any special evidence that would indicate either way. Talking about mud flood there. Okay, I'm almost a little bit scared to click on it. Already had accidental boobs. Who knows else what I'm gonna run into. Ugh. What is that? Okay, I'm kind of scared. Petrified at the Museum of Naples. Alright, I'm not really getting anywhere and they're just creepy. Zoom, zoom. Okay, now, you know what? I don't need to be looking at that. Chicken soup is a real medicine if you make it from scratch. Yes, I agree. Get the bone broth, magnesium. But you know, we used to eat a lot healthier in general, so that bone broth will probably help you a lot more now than the old days. There was one where the man was turning into a tree. Yeah, tree man. That was like, there was some kind of a, they call it like a mole kind of a thing that grows. I forgot the name of it, but he had an autoimmune problem. First it was just him, but now there's a whole bunch of people who have that problem. Okay, anyways, so I think I got, oh, one more. Let me see. Have I got everybody? Just checking to see if everybody got their credits. J. Bill Knight. Okay. This one is kind of interesting because it was on... Maybe I'll just go to Reddit and see if I can find that one. So I did a little bit of searching for Mandelas today because it was a little low. But then stuff started showing up, so... trying to find it on here because there was a specific video of this beast. Of course, now I'm not finding it. It was a really weird insect. There. The wandering violin mantis. Okay, first we're going to make it larger. So this is what's weird. This mantis, it basically has a body and then this long stick and then its head is on here. Now, supposedly from other images, there should be those praying claw thingies, but on this particular one, you don't really see them. And this is the head thing, but it looks like a bird. Now, the claws are supposed to be in here, but you don't really see it on this video. So I don't know if it's the angle or it's got its claws in or what, but let's see if we can get to where it starts moving more. So you can see this head thing. I think them's is the arms, the grabby arms. But it looks like a bird on a stalk thing. It's pretty weird. And it's got these weird leaf things on the legs. So we're getting more of that looks like a leaf thing showing up here on these praying mantises. So it used to be the prey animals would hide and look like leaves, but now the predator animals are doing it. You can see that's the butt sticking up. But this is really weird because it looks like a bird is like maneuvering in there. It's strange. So this little thing is called gongylus gongyllodes. Gongylus gongylodes. The Mandela's running out of names for stuff, so it's just doing nonsense words. Okay, so there it is at another angle. I think those are the feet. There's the head. So praying mantis are getting weird. It looks like alien. There's the head. Check out that head. There's the feet. Looks like its head just swivels around. Okay, so I think this one is it with its legs more out. Although this one looks like it has some kind of wing things. The other one didn't. Yeah, how does this thing have these wing things and the other one didn't have wing things? There's the head. There's, I think these were all curled up to here, making it look like it had a bird body and a bird head. Interesting. So wing things. Yeah, I don't know. See, leaves on the legs. Pretty bizarre. So that one came from Bill Knight. Good find, good find. These things, they look fake. I mean, look at that. It feels like out of a sci-fi movie. See if this is going to load this millennia. Yeah, 5 to 10 minutes. That was my last one, so unless anybody has a last minute. The reality is running out of capacity. Well, we still have a lot more rainbow to go. Lighting effects. We could have all different colored clouds. So there's some stuff. We haven't gotten unicorns or aliens yet. I think we still have some stuff we can scrape up. Of course, it doesn't load. Stinkers. Look at that thing. Oh, this one. It's interesting because different ones, one of them had like long, black, fuzzy looking antennas. This one has little thin ones that curl forward like that. So there's quite a bit of variation in this same beast. This one has that uppity tail like the one in the video, but where's the wings? Maybe I'll have to go see if I can get this sorted out on the web real quick here. See if the wiki will cough up. So does some of them have... Okay, that does look like it. Now this one has wings. Often kept as a pet by hobbyists. Common range India and Sri Lanka, reaches 4 inches long. The male of the species is capable of flight. That's interesting. I don't recall the last time there was that kind of sexual dimorphism in insects. I don't recall hearing of that before. They are communal species that are able to live and breed in large groups without unnecessary cannibalism. Communal predatory insects. Interesting. I've not heard it. Wow, this is a tiny little wiki, considering how interesting they are. Wonder if that one's hot off the presses. Okay, so that explains why some have wings and some don't. Pretty weird. Okay, I think I'm pretty much done. I've got 4 minutes, so I better check out. So anyways, yeah, kind of a weird week. I've been super busy, but I have seen some Mandelas. And maybe a shift about 2-3 weeks ago for me would be my guess. And so, I don't know, keep your head up as much as you can. Think good thoughts, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I very much appreciate all your assistance. This is Eva signing off for Once Upon a Timeline.